Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of
Interventions and
Detentions. And what episode are we on, Kylie?
We are on 118, Into the Woods, Outdoor Learning with our special guest,
Jodie Jordan. We're going to welcome Jodie here in just a minute to the podcast, but let's briefly just talk about the topic of outdoor learning. We call it KinderForest here at Central Noble Primary, and we didn't coin that title. It's pretty...
Oh, you didn't?
Yes.
No. Did we?
We did.
Sorry, Jodie, we did. Jodie did.
Okay.
I thought it was more of a common outdoor learning thing.
Okay, shout out to Jodie Jordan for
shout
coming
out
up with
to
KinderForest.
Jodie
We'll get there in a little bit.
KinderForest. But KinderForest is basically just taking the learning from the classroom outdoors and using nature and everything out there. And I'm not going to talk any more about it because I want Jodie to share her expertise because we've been doing it here for a while before I even came to Central Noble Primary. But Kylie, you said you have a little tidbit to share about an outdoor learning experience, and I'll share a quick one too.
I mean, outdoor learning, or because you kind of said, oh, like outdoor learning summer camp type thing. I went to summer camp once, was supposed to be 6 weeks long. I only made it a week, and then I cried every day, and my mom had to take me home.
Just like homeschool, like you cried at homeschool, right?
So
Gotcha.
So that was my outdoor learning experience. Actually, I'm really interested in outdoor learning. I have a PE background, and outdoor ed was one of the areas that I really, really enjoyed. It's kind of hard to do in Indiana when you don't have all the fun things, but I think outdoor learning is awesome. So
yeah, when I was young, like probably preschool age, like my brother and I went to a babysitter because mom and dad worked, and I can remember that they enrolled us into like a park and rec 2-week,
parks.
Outdoor thing. And the only thing I can remember other than like playing games and stuff is we made like this little picture thing on a slab of wood, and we took our school picture and put on it and like polyurethaned over it, and made a little craft, but like.
Do you think Wayne still has that at home?
It's somewhere at the Taggart house. I know it is. I might have it somewhere in a box. But
shout out to Wayne Taggart for saving that gem of a art project.
Yeah. So anyway, let's just jump into it with Jodie. Jodie, welcome. Jodie is one of our kindergarten teachers, and what I would say is our lead KinderForest person here at Central Noble Primary. Maybe tell us a little bit about yourself, Jodie, before we jump right into KinderForest.
I've been teaching with Central Noble Schools for 23 years, in kindergarten about 18 years.
Wow.
And we started KinderForest in 2016.
Okay. Wow. So it's been going on for
9 years.
Nine years going
on.
Wow.
That's awesome.
10-year anniversary coming up for KinderForest. So go ahead and just tell us what KinderForest is.
Well, KinderForest, again, we named it that because we were starting this outdoor program after having outdoor education classes that we took, and we had to come up with a name, and Mary Lee was helping us kind of headhunt this and make it happen, and it really worked really well with the name. We just went with KinderForest, and it rolled. So
tell us a little more about Mary Lee. Our listeners might not know what that is or what.
So we partnered with Mary Lee, which is part of Goshen College, and it has a lot of grad students that work environmentally through whatever it is that they're learning about, and they do have several acres here that is all put towards nature. So we partnered with them for them to help us. What do we want it to look like? What do we want to have, the main things, the concepts we want to cover? So they really helped us those first few years, and to have a place to do it. And we actually bused the kids there the first few years.
Yeah, and Mary Lee's cool because they continue to support us and what we're doing here on site, which is really, really cool. So tell us a little bit how outdoor learning is different from the traditional in-your-seat classroom learning, because it is definitely
way different.
Way different. First thing is you can do just about anything outside. But the biggest thing and the things that we're trying to cover is those broad concepts of fine motor skills and gross motor skills, and giving those kids to be able to actually, their student-led exploration time, that they're discovering what they want to look at, what they want to do, how they want to do it. We do a lot of, how do you think that happened? When they ask you a question, well, where did these nuts come from? I don't know. Where could they have come from? Did they come up from the ground? Did they fall from the sky? So we're making those kids answer their own questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to ask kind of about some of the benefits for especially our younger learners with going outside and learning outside. But I think you kind of just hit on some of that student-led, some of that hands-on, that higher level thinking? Is there other
sensory engagement?
Absolutely.
Teamwork. They're working together to maybe move that 6-foot log, and they do that. The social and emotional development of learning how to work together, and maybe we're going to build a shelter, and there's 4 or 5 of us, and how are we going to do this without it falling or arguing? Is a good one too. So just all of those things kind of work together. We see it just a totally different kid when we're outside.
The one thing that I've noticed the few times that I've been out to visit when kids are out at KinderForest is how much learning and teaching is on the fly. Like,
oh yeah,
like I don't. You guys probably do have like a lesson plan and things that you want to accomplish during that time outside. But I know when I come out there, you're pulling in things that you've been doing in the classroom and just pumping them into the kids on the fly outside. I know when I was out there this fall and you were talking about the 5 senses and you don't think about how easily that is to adapt to outdoors. I mean, there's so many things outside that you rely on your senses for, and just the questions that you guys were firing at kids about, what does this smell like? And do you hear this? And look at your sight and what do you see? And it was really cool just to see the learning and teaching that was happening on the fly. How do your students react, though, the very first time that they go out? We're lucky because some of our kindergarten students are in our preschool program, our preschool program.
Have worked with Mary Lee, though,
right.
in the past.
We have a preschool program here that we house through the YMCA, and they spend half of their day at Mary Lee doing outdoor learning. So a lot of our kids are kind of used to it, but there's some of our kids that aren't. But what's their first reaction going outside here at Central Noble Primary to do KinderForest?
They always say, what are we going to do? Why are we doing that? Well, where are we going to go? And am I going to get dirty?
That would be my first question.
Can I climb a tree? I can really climb a tree. Are you kidding? I can climb a tree. So, and if you have those kids that are nervous about it, I partner them with those kids that I know already have outdoor time at home, are comfortable, maybe have gone to the outdoor preschool, and I kind of partner them up a little bit. We usually do animal groupings so that both classrooms, we have a mixture of both classrooms out there. And so we kind of put those extrovert kids with the introvert kids, or the kids that have been outside or the kids that haven't been. And so that they can kind of team along and be like, well, let's go do this.
Absolutely. And kind of get used to it slowly instead of just throwing them out there.
And a lot of the kids that you think would not enjoy it really enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, we've had that discussion too, like not only with kids, like teachers. We have several teachers who I will say are resistant to outdoor learning, but once they get outside and see the possibilities, it's like their whole attitude and ideation changes. Like they see the possibilities of what they can do with their kids outside, and we like that.
So you kind of touched on it again, but what are some other types of activities that you do when you're out in KinderForest? Is it all hands-on based? Do you ever have paper pencil kind of things?
We do. We usually, what we do is we take a theme. So, and a lot of times in the spring, one of my favorites is mud. So
I will not be joining that day for the mud.
You're missing out, Kylie. Yeah. It's cool stuff.
It's one of my favorites because we read them a story about mud and what to expect and what makes mud and what you can do with mud. We usually have our set sit spot time, which is one of the grad students from Mary Lee had even written a book about sit spot. And it's just in time for the students to engage with where they're at, their environment. We usually have them divide the pages into the 4 senses. They look at their spot, they make those decisions, and then a lot of times it's like, can you see mud? Are you able to touch mud near you? Things like that. And then we have our story, and then we have free exploration time, which is where you can make mud. And you can
you throw it at people?
Well, no, you can't pick it up, but you can put it on the trees. You can paint the trees. And then we usually have at least 1 or 2 activities that goes along with our theme. So on a mud day, it's definitely we're making mud. Yep. So we're making mud if there's not mud out there. Where I bring water out. We're making mud with the dirt. You might make a mud pie. You get a write with mud with the stick. Maybe on paper or big butcher paper.
That sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, it's lots of fun.
Okay.
We even, I will allow them to paint their bodies with mud.
I was wondering if I could do the
warrior signs. Yeah.
Yes, because that is all engaging and it's using all those senses again.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I love that. You bring in a lot of reading and math subject areas, science, all those things. And probably the kids don't even realize that that's what you're doing. You know, you're bringing in all those skills and in a fun outdoor way. I mean, I think that's really cool for the program.
So what skills do students develop outside that they might not develop in a traditional classroom setting?
I think you're looking at more when they're sitting in a chair and doing those things or whatever they're doing there, they're not really getting those fine motor skills, the gross motor skills, the whole body movements. They're learning a lot of developmental things with their minds and just an engagement overall. The biggest thing I would say is the problem solving, being creative. The
and
things
like
that they're not
on the
getting.
fly too.
Yes.
Having to make decisions quick and think through things as it's coming to them.
And really just their curiosity. They are so curious at this age. They really want to know what's going on, why it's there, what are they doing? And so that changes so much over the time, especially since they're not sitting in four walls.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I know there's lots of great things for KinderForest, but there has to be some obstacles too. I mean, we don't live in the perfect climate, weather all the year. So what are some of the biggest obstacles that you have found or you see for the outdoor learning?
I would say volunteers. I am not afraid to take my one class out, 24 students by myself. They know that if they're not going to follow the rules, that we have those expectations. If they're not followed, we'll have to change them. And so, but when you get almost 50 kids outside and you've got them going everywhere, having those adult volunteers, it's hard to get those and to keep them. So, and that's probably the hardest thing. That's really it.
But the weather too, though. The
weather can be a problem. We have decided that next year we are not doing the months of January and February.
Oh, probably a good idea.
Maybe double up on those other months.
Yeah. And
that way we don't even have to worry of it's not going to be. We have to text everybody and let them know, message them, and we're not going to have KinderForest. It's going to be the wind chill's too low, and the kids do come unprepared in the wintertime a lot. So I'm just going to take that off the table.
And we've kept a good collection of boots and hats and gloves and coats. And we use something called a frog tog. And maybe you want to talk about a frog tog real quick, because when I came here and you used that term with me, I was like, what is a frog tog? That sounds like something I'm going to find outdoors.
A frog tog.
In the
that might
wilderness.
Be a slang word. We should have used that last week.
Dang, we should have. So
it is a waterproof, water-resistant pants and a jacket for the kids.
So like a rain suit.
Right, like a rain suit, yes. They have actually held up this whole 9 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it's about time to replace some of that.
Absolutely.
And so we're looking into other ways to replace it and maybe in a different type.
Yeah.
And that would last a little bit longer.
So the biggest thing is that even if a kid comes unprepared,
we
get them
got
completely prepared. Yep. They go out in appropriate outfits, boots, hats, gloves, whatever they need.
Lots of donations. Good. We have lots of people that clean out their closets and say, hey, I brought you some boots, or I was clearance shopping and found some snow pants.
That's awesome.
So all of those things are very welcomed.
Yeah. So thinking about the 10-year span, almost 10 years now, what's some funny or unexpected moments that you've encountered? I'm sure there's got to be a bunch. And, we've even had pretty much three venues. We talked a little bit about on campus at Mary Lee. We were actually also at our junior senior high because they have a really nice area, but it caused some logistic problems with getting kids over there, getting back. What happens when weather turned bad? Bathrooms, things like that. So now we're back here on our campus. But think about some funny moments that you'd like to share. I see you laughing already.
So I can only imagine. Give us one or two of your favorite, funniest moments.
I will say I think it was our second year at Mary Lee, and we're all in Frogs Togs. It's pretty much raining. It's not pouring, but it's raining. We're all prepared. The kids are loving it. The kids don't care. That's the whole thing. They really don't. After about the third or fourth KinderForest, they don't care what the temperature is or if it's raining. And it rained enough that they figured out that the trail would make a really nice slip and slide.
Ooh,
that sounds like fun, actually.
So
I could get on board with the nice trail slip and slide.
We had a mud slip and slide through the mud, through the puddles. At first, it turned out being I would say a semi-accident, but then it became an entire class slip and slide down the trail.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome till I had to clean the school bus coming back. We had lots of kids wearing lots of different colored things home because
I'm sure of it.
Yeah. And I would say the other one is when we were at the high school, there was a place that was a wetland area. And it was probably up to your knees, maybe. And the kids did a lot of pond dipping there.
Sure.
You know, looking at things and things like that. Well, the tree that had fallen was, a good 4 or 5 feet around. It was huge. And so they would walk up and down that. And one day, accidentally, a boy fell in. And it was our last KinderForest of the school year, and it became a swimming party. And that was probably one of my favorites, just because about the third or fourth kid that went in, it was fine. Yeah. It didn't matter.
That's funny.
It was all good.
We're all in at that
It was
point.
all in, yeah. And we had the best time. It ended up being kind of scary at first. It was like, they shouldn't be. And then it was like, it's all fine.
They're going to be
Let's
okay.
just do it,
I can imagine, Jodie, you could probably write a whole book on KinderForest experiences.
Absolutely.
The good, the bad, the ugly, or maybe the good, the bad, the muddy. I don't know what we call it. But
there we go.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to other schools that may be thinking about starting an outdoor learning program or kind of want to dive into it? Any advice, any resources, anything you want to share to the people listening?
The first thing is, if you're not a teacher who is flexible, it's not probably going to be for you, or an outdoors person. And the other thing is lots of observations. I went to an outdoor education camp. I mean, we went for 3 days. We went and saw a lot of public schools that had a KinderForest type of outdoor program. And since we've come back, I guess, in this area, we were one of the only public schools in northern Indiana that had an outdoor program.
I was just going to ask if there were any more around here.
Yeah. So there was no school 9 years ago that ever did this. There was preschools, there were homeschools, there were things like that. But in our direct area, there was no public school that was doing a program like this. So I became the educator. So I went to West Noble, and I've gone to a lot of other schools, Westview, things like that have all come. And it's an educational thing.
So I know the list that I'm going to, or the question I'm going to ask, the list will be exhausting, so I don't expect you to say it all or list all things. But what are some must-have supplies, tools, things like that that you use on an everyday basis out at KinderForest? And I know there's a range of stuff.
Depending on the weather and all the things,
It really just depends. My favorite thing is my backpack. I have to have my backpack. It's got to have your water. You have to have your first aid kits. Mm-hmm. Kleenex is your friend.
Yep.
Sure.
It sounds crazy, but yes. And in really anything goes. I use kitchen utensils. Mm-hmm. We've got tools, mallets,
and
chisels,
I know people will be like,
mud kitchens.
Oh my gosh, you give kids chisels and mallets outside, but they handle it, don't they?
Yes. And they know you don't follow the rules the first
tool,
time, it's a warning. It's a tool. We have actual yellow buckets that are yellow, and they are for the tool area. We have a specific area. And if they don't follow the rules, they sit. And nobody wants to sit at KinderForest.
So it's all about setting those expectations, teaching them what you're expecting, the boundaries, and then letting them just kind of create and do it on their own and kind of work through it. That's cool. Absolutely. And I know that you always take an AED out.
Yep.
Make sure the nurse always knows when you're going out, how many kids are going out. Any medications or anything are always there too. So safety is always a top priority with any outside learning for sure.
I'd say let's go to some rapid fire questions. This is our favorite part.
Our favorite part.
Yeah, we love the rapid fire question because it's kind of puts you on the spot, gives you like, what's that first answer that pops in your head when we ask a question like, what's the favorite part of taking kids outside?
Ooh, your favorite
Seeing them create. And I drink lots of made-up coffee, shakes, pies. Soups.
Yes.
Any of that. I love that.
Yep.
That's my favorite.
Funniest thing a kindergartner has ever said during KinderForest?
Hey, I think a dog or a raccoon, they pooped in my shelter.
And they probably did.
A dog or raccoon.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big difference.
Well, because they were like, it could be a little dog, but I'm pretty sure it's a raccoon scat. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
that's awesome.
awesome.
If you could take your students on an outdoor field trip anywhere in the world, where would it be?
The Badlands.
Oh, yeah. Why?
It's my favorite because every turn you take there is a different terrain.
Yeah.
And so, like, you could spend an entire day in one terrain, and it feels like the next turn you take, you're in a totally different terrain.
Yeah.
So I love, that's one of my favorite places. I know it's like, you said anywhere. So.
Yeah.
He did say anywhere. He did say anywhere. So, worst weather situation you've ever faced during KinderForest?
I would say we got outside, got everything out, just everything going fine, and a sudden thunderstorm, downpour, rain, wind, and we just caught quietly and calmly getting soaked. Yeah, took the kids inside and acted like it never really
wasn't
happened.
even a big
It
deal,
didn't make it a big deal.
Sure.
Have you had an animal encounter during KinderForest? And if so, best one?
Best one, doe and a fawn run directly right through KinderForest, but not even really run. They were just kind of
Sauntering
Yes,
through.
yes,
Just having a
just-
nice little
and
stroll.
everybody was, it was silent. Like everybody was looking and like, did you see?
Oh, wow.
mean,
that would be
oh my
cool.
gosh,
You
it
guys
was-
get goosebumps
yeah,
just
It was
thinking
the
Was that
neatest
here
thing.
or over at the...
We've actually had one at the high school. We had a doe, and here we had the doe and the fawn.
Oh, I guess I didn't know that here. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Makes me want to put out some salt blocks and get some
Yeah,
more
really.
deer and some... Yeah, that'd be cool.
Must-have outdoor learning tool. Can't be your backpack. For the kids.
For the
Outdoor
kids.
learning tool. Must-have outdoor learning tool for the kids.
The funnest thing that they have is these plastic goggles that I've bought. They love these plastic goggles and the plastic binoculars. Like,
Oh, yes.
they just love that.
Hilarious.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
They're probably not seeing a single
not
thing
a
out of
single
those
thing.
binoculars. Not
No,
one thing,
no.
but they would tell you they're
Yes.
seeing it all.
Yeah. They're
Amazing.
explorers.
So if you weren't... We're going to kind of just go some general questions now. We'll get away from KinderForest a little bit. If you weren't a teacher in kindergarten, Jodie, what would you do?
Do you even know? You've been a kindergarten
What
teacher for
job
so
would you
long.
have?
Like,
You know, I am living my dream. When it comes to teach, I mean, I am living my dream. I'm teaching in a school that I went to school at when I was in
that's
elementary school. I was hired by my elementary school principal. I got to teach under him. I'm in my dream job.
you're where
I
you're
am
supposed to
where
be.
I'm
That's
supposed
cool.
to be.
That's awesome.
I mean, if I liked chemistry, I might have went into like forensic scientist. or
Ooh,
something,
okay.
Fun.
But I don't like chemistry.
my dream job, zookeeper.
Oh,
You didn't ask, but that's
Yeah,
what Brad,
I
what was
like it.
yours? I don't remember.
It was generic, like, I want to make lots of money. I don't want to have to
Oh,
any
yeah, he couldn't
responsibility.
give me
that. Yeah.
You know, I don't. So
I wanna
whatever
s-
that job is, that's what
Yeah.
I want to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not as cool as
Yeah.
zookeeper.
No.
One thing people don't realize about teaching kindergarten. There are so many things.
There are so many
There are
things,
so
like-
many things.
Oh my goodness, yeah. That whatever you think your kids aren't going to tell me at school, they're going to tell me. I know everything, and
More than you want to know.
more than what you want me to know, and it's some of it's not even, it's their perception on what they, my mom's a really bad cook because my dad said that the hamburgers were burned, or it doesn't matter. They have their own perception, but I know it all.
And they're not afraid to tell
They
it.
are not afraid to tell me
That's
at
funny.
all, ever.
Well, as we start to wind down here on KinderForest, Jodie, this has been a great discussion, and I know we could keep talking and talking, but in your opinion, what's your thoughts on the future of KinderForest and outdoor learning here at Central Noble? I know it's evolving all the
It's
time.
evolving all the
Yep.
time. My goal would be, I have several. Short term is more than twice a month, taking the kids out. I do take my personal class out
Right.
a lot more than that. But for a full day with volunteers and having an all day out there, it would be at like 3 or 4 times a month. But I would love to see it being like a special.
Yeah.
And be
We've
a
talked about
50
that.
to 50 minutes to 60 minutes outside every grade, K through 5, and maybe once a week or whatever we could work it out. That would be my dream.
Yeah.
That would be
Absolutely.
what I would love for it to be, just because it's funny because I'll see kids 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, and they're like, oh, I just so miss kindergarten because I loved KinderForest. Because they do. They love that. And some kids don't get to go outside.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's just another way to hit different learners. You know what I mean? Everyone learns differently, so being outside may do better for some students, and I don't know. It's
When
just
I
a
assess
good,
outside, they do better.
yeah, absolutely.
Agree. So any final thoughts on why outdoor learning is so important? I mean, I think we've talked a lot about it, and I do, I support it. I love it. I want to continue it, and I kind of share your dream. I want to see it grow. But why is it so important for our kids?
Because, number one, I talked about it with a parent today. Kids love to be outside, whether anybody else wants to be outside. So if I can be that one avenue that they're getting outside and be able to use their creativity and exploring nature in their own way,
Yep,
not
absolutely.
the way somebody wants them to,
Yep.
they are growing as a person. And these little people need to grow.
They do.
They sure do.
Kylie?
Yeah.
Anything
Brad.
else?
No, Jodie, thank you so much. It has been a really good discussion, and
Yeah.
just to get a little more information. Do you have any resources that, like, if a school corporation was kind of interested in starting something like this, that they could kind of reach out to find out more information, or kind of where to start? Maybe they could reach out to you. Maybe you're the resource.
Absolutely. And I do have a lot of Mary Lee graduates that will reach out to me and send me emails. And then what I do is I just give them copies of everything that I've put together, from research studies to maybe a daily schedule, what it kind of looks like, things like that.
So if anyone out there is listening and would be interested,
We will share Jodie's email address in our social media posts.
yes, we will. So that you can reach out there. You can come visit and
We would
see
love to have schools
what
come visit.
KinderForest
We have
looks
lots
like
of
here.
schools that do come to visit.
we
We
do.
do. And it's not that we're the experts, but I feel like we've got a pretty solid program that I'm proud of, and I know Jodie is too, and we'd love to share
Absolutely.
what we do and the thoughts, and sometimes we even learn from our visitors. They ask great
absolutely.
questions and make us think about, we could do something like this. So
Definitely.
I love it. Well, thank you, Jodie, for joining us today and talking about KinderForest. We've been wanting to get this episode in because I think it's a great way to share that love from outdoor learning, and maybe get some more people to join us in that journey. So
Absolutely.
any last thoughts, Kylie?
No, I don't think so. Thanks
All
again,
right,
Jodie. We've really enjoyed it.
Let's cue up that music because it's that time. What's going to happen next week?
Next week is going to be good. I don't even know the title of it.
I don't know either. I think it's just going to be us talking.
I think it might just be us talking. But don't let that scare you away, folks. It's going to be good, I promise.
Yeah, it would just be Kylie
I
and I
think
next
it's a
week.
debate. I think we're debating each
little-
other on certain things.
A little
so
like
it
this
could
or
be,
that, or
Yeah.
your opinion versus my opinion.
Yeah.
Everybody has one, they say.
My opinion's better, I think. So
Probably
you might
is.
want to tune in to hear that.
All right, well, we'll be back next week with episode 119, title to come. Look forward to seeing you then. Kylie?
Class dismissed.